Good morning, sir, and good morning, classmate. So today I will read to you the poem entitled Crossing the Bar by Alfred Tennyson. So first, let's read and talk about the entire poem and let's discuss it by stanza. First stanza. Sunset and evening star and one clear call for me. The poem begins with the speaker describing the atmosphere. He says that it is sunset and evening star can be seen in the sky. It also says here that someone is calling the speaker. It is a clear and mistakable call. It is a call of death. The speaker believes that his death is close. It is interesting to take note here the imagery that the poet presents before us at the start of the poem. Sunset and evening star represents the end of the day, just as the day is about to end. The speaker says that his life is drawing to an end as well, and may there be no moaning of the bar when I put out to the sea. Here, the poem uses his famous metaphor of crossing the bar, describing that as an act of passing beyond his life. The word bar here means a sandbar. The poet uses the sandbar as a symbol of death with the water inside and representing his life and the water beyond the afterlife. He wants to put out to the sea without mourning of the bar. The poet wishes his death to be without pain and without mourning to die quietly and peacefully. Second stanza. But such a tide as moving seems asleep to fall for sound and fall. In this stanza, the speaker of the poem talks about the inevitability of death. The poet wishes that when he put out to the sea, that is when he dies, let it be like a ride which seems asleep at its moves. So meaning, the speaker wants his death to be smooth like a calm sea wave, which is to fall for sound and foam. The speaker hopes that his death will be silent, smooth, and quick, making no fuss. When that truth from out of the boundless deep turns again hope. In this line, the poem uses example of view and sea to express the kind of death he wishes for himself. The water in the sea evaporates and turns into clouds, right? These clouds were turned into rain and entering the water into river, and this water from the river flow in the sea. That's its complete cycle. Just so, the speaker considering himself like the water that he is returning where he came from. The boundless deep here apparently stands for the sea, and in allegorical sense to the place that the poet believes he will go after death. Here, we should notice that this stanza is the continuation idea introduced in the first stanza. The last line of the first stanza, together with this one, makes the meaning of the verse. Third stanza. Twilight and evening bell and after that the dark. In the third stanza, the poet describing the atmosphere to convey his inner feelings. It was sunset when the speaker started the poem, but known it is twilight. The sun has already gone down the horizon and the dusk is setting. Time has passed by since they imposed the line with a sense of emergence. The evening and the sunset is also symbolic of the old age he is in. He is inching towards the inevitable. The speaker can hear the evening bell tolling. It is night. The poet here uses twilight to show us the state of his life, just as the day has ended his life too is about to end, and may be no sadness of farewell when I embark. The speaker expresses his hope that there will be no sadness of farewell upon his death. It is evident from the word embark that death is not seen as a final destination by the poet, but rather as a new beginnings. Fourth stanza. For though out of born of time and place, like flood may bear me far. In this previous stanza of the poem, we see that the speaker positive attitudes towards death. It is seen to be exemplified in this final stanza of the poem. We understand that the speaker has accepted his reality, inevitability of death. He appears to have made his peace with the idea of his fast approaching death. He says that he will beyond the boundaries of time and place, and the flood of death will carry him far away. This is going beyond the reach of this world. The speaker suggests that there is a place beyond our time and space where he hopes to go after his death. We are thus acquainted with the poet's belief in afterlife. I hope to see my pilot face to face when I have crossed the bar. Hence, the word pilot is a direct reference to God. Alfred Tennyson had always his own view when it comes to religion. Since God is considered to drive the world and all giving things, we see that pilot reference to the device word also cross is interesting. While it might simple be a word to suggest crossing the bar, it is speculated that it might be reference to Christ, as cross is similar in sound to boat and cross. If so, then we find another relation from the poet to religion and afterlife. The poem does end on a positive note with this poet both accepting the finality of death and hoping meet God in the afterlife. Death and acceptance are the major themes of this poem. Throughout the poem, we find many examples which indicate that the poet is talking about the approaching dawn of his life. He suggested that rather than facing definite death, one should accept that one day everyone is going across over from life to death. If you're going to read the poem, you will notice that there is no sense of regret or disappointment or sadness on the poet's parts. He already accepted his death, perhaps because he has fulfilled his life. With his gentle rhythm and rich symbolism, Crossing the Bar is deeply engrossing poem that makes us contemplate the mortal nature of man, which will eventually have across the bar. So, just like me, I hope you learned something. Thank you for listening.